Okay, so problem 2-2 is similar to problem 2-1. I mean, it uses the same information. It just did the purchase is only for 80%. So they give you the costs here, and you're going to have NCI or non-controlling interest because of this. So again, looking at the worksheets, these blue worksheets, anything really up here is, what I would consider supplemental worksheets. The one that's required is this, and then I do want you to do the entry. But if you do this part, the entry just falls out. All right, so getting back to what we're talking about, now we're going to have ownership interest as 80%. It says 0.7, but that's just an example. Then you enter your purchase, the number of shares, the price, and you can make these comments hide. You can hide those comments if you want to, no problem. And then here you just have your assets at book value and market value. This comes from the assignment. Your net market value is again 430,000. And this falls down here. The price that you paid. The price that you paid here is from up here, and then you just divide by 80% to get your implied amount. Now you're going to have your total amount. 80% is what your parent company is buying, and then 20% goes here. The fair value of the net assets, which would be over here, and then you have the split between 80-20. And then the difference between the price, the fair value of the assets marked up, that is, will give you the rest will be goodwill. You don't have to worry about gain on this particular transaction. The parent company gets 80, NCI gets, non-controlling interest is 20. Then you go down here to your D&D schedule, and again, here's your equity accounts, your fair value. Your fair value minus the equity you pay is going to give you, what will be goodwill. Well, the fair value minus your equity accounts is going to give you your excess, and then you distribute that excess between the assets that are now marked to fair value, and then after that excess is distributed, whatever's left is goodwill. So that's a little bit more accurate. Okay, so then the distribution is 80-20. And then you come down here, and again, if you notice, this amount and the retained earnings is a little bit different from what's in the book. And again, that's because that's minus the acquisition cost of, I believe it was $40,000. But everything else should look exactly like it came from the book. Now you have your key here. This is just to show the journal entry, to make the journal entry more clear, more organized, and then your actual amounts go here. So remember, in the end, you want your equity accounts to zero out from the sub, right? So you're going to have, because you have non-controlling interest, that's going to play a part in the numbers that go into these columns, but that should be zero. You're gonna have adjustments to your assets to bring them up to where they should be market value wise. Your investment account, you have your eliminating entry, which eliminates your the 80% of these, and then the NCI, you have the other 20%. Okay. One thing that you can use is on the distribution schedule, the excess cost over book value. These numbers for the 80-20 split, the 80% goes, as your D, for the credit, and then the NCI amount goes here, and then when all that stuff will work out then for you, because then the 80% and 20% plus all the distributions of your write-ups plus your goodwill will all have your debits equal your credits. So just kind of follow along with that example in the textbook. And me see if there's anything else I want to mention. So your NCI number here will be the total in your columns, and that number will then end up over here so that all your debits and all your credits equal. And then you just take your journal entries from these columns, and then you put them into your entries down here, and that should get you through. It's very similar to 2-1. The only that little difference of having non-controlling interest though does kind of throw a curveball in there. But if you follow along with the previous videos I did in the textbook, using the worksheets in the textbook as that they have that at the end of the chapter, you should be able to see how they flow through into the worksheet, and you should do fine.